prospect of playing at the Olympics has already tempted some big names to switch from 15s to 7s. England's Christian Lewis-Pratt has recently moved in the opposite direction and has a key insight into the demands of both codes.
Some guys can rock up from 15s and play a 7s tournament, but the way the 7 series works is then you have to back it up the following week. That's where you see the guys who've just come in with less training really struggle. So your ability to withhold all the load in training and then the load of a tournament, that takes time, it takes months of training. And to really hit those peak levels of fitness to be able to last 14 minutes, I think you're looking at 3+ months training at least, because the demands are just so great, to be able to put your body at that maximum level and to be able to maintain a high skill level whilst under such great fatigue is a big challenge for some players. Sevens as a squad, well, we certainly were very choosy about what we ate, and we were very hot on our diets. And I guess because every kilogram of weight you're carrying as a sevens player implements the way you play. So if you're carrying an extra kilo of fat that's not useful, you're going to have to then go and slug that around for 6 games on a weekend, and then go and do it at the next weekend at the next destination. It's going to take its toll. Whereas in 15s you have a little bit more flexibility, and the importance of being heavier and a bit bulkier, is that much different. It's just to deal with the bigger impacts and your strength in the carry and things like that, which you don't have to worry about so much in the open space of a sevens field. In the last couple of years, tactically it's changed just a little bit, and that's where you've got to have the ability to play real quick rucks, very accurate at the breakdown, and ability to move the ball away from those scenarios so these guys can't nick your ball, basically. It's certainly something you don't tactically get overnight. It does take time. You saw some guys come into the Commonwealth Games, some 15s players, and I don't think they quite did themselves justice at times, because they're very good players who at times, just through lack of sevens knowledge or tactical ability, whatever you want to call it, couldn't establish themselves the way they wanted to. So it takes time, and the only way to do it is to train and play. A big centre or a very agile back row might do well in sevens because they can play as a prop role. It's slightly less running, but they can bring in their aerial ability, their strength, and the ability to offload. All things that are very key in sevens and key skills that they might already have. So when playing sevens, you generally have a lot more time on the ball than you would in 15s. It's what you do at that time that's probably quite important. It doesn't mean you can spend ages with the ball in your hands. Sometimes there's a time where you just got to get rid of it early, but sometimes there's a time where you have a little bit longer to see a picture and choose your best option, and that's what some of the best playmakers in the world of sevens can do. They can get the ball in their hands, or even before they've got the ball in their hands, see a picture and then decide what to do with it next. Because often defences are sort of shifting off you rather than coming towards you. You're making decisions on the go as you're going at a defence. So you're having that time on the ball to work out what it is you want to do. Whereas in 15s you've got to be almost very assertive with your decision making, which certainly is something I felt coming back to 15s, probably more so as opposed to going from 15s to 7s.